Good evening, moron. Would you be willing to have your anus swabbed against your will in the name of mandatory medicine? You're selfish if you don't. And it's probably coming our way, but let's not think about the implications of that. Moving along. I'm reporting to you live here in AOC's panic room. After the riots at the Capitol, top-ranked social justice warrior AOC routinely accused Ted Cruz of trying to have her murdered with rioters. Of her near-death experience, AOC said, "It was a very close encounter where I thought I was going to die." Then recently, the very logical and nuanced congresswoman, who has a business background in waitressing, took to Instagram for a 90-minute long video where she talked about how terrified she was during her near-death experience. She also said it is not an exaggeration to say many members of Congress were nearly assassinated. Not an exaggeration. Then the public found out AOC was not in the Capitol building while it was being stormed by rioters. She was in a different building. Countless people then removed her safe space and blasted her for exaggerating her trauma about the riots in the Capitol building. Apparently, these skeptics think she's weak for being traumatized from riots in a building that she was not in. As you can see in this diagram published by the New York Post, the riots were happening in the Capitol building. And AOC received all of her trauma in this building, a different building, 0.3 miles away. People who oddly felt misled by AOC's 90-minute long Instagram testimony of trauma started the trending hashtags AOC lied and AOC Smollett. But the head of cancel culture did not like these hashtags. Perhaps she felt as though they were lying about her lie. So she took to her email list advising her followers to try to censor social media posts speaking unflatteringly about her by reporting them. Oh, is AOC still doing her blacklist? I mean, she probably shouldn't have said that thought out loud. Now for all you conspiracy theorists who think AOC is wrong, we at the left-wing media would like to remind you, you're wrong because you don't control the narrative. We do. But for those who want answers as to why AOC would fear for her life in this near-death experience while rioters were in the Capitol building and she was not, there are perfectly good and sensible explanations. One, it's possible that she identified as being at the Capitol building. Two, it's possible she identified as a rioter herself, which would mean she was in the same room as a rioter. Three, it's possible a rioter could have identified as AOC, and that rioter could have taken his own life, thus ending her life, because he identified as her. One of those possibilities is most likely what happened. So relax, people. At this time, it is neither confirmed nor denied that AOC has an inspirational poster on her office wall of Mark Twain's famous quote, "I've had a lot of worries in my life, most of which never happened." It's unknown if AOC will introduce legislation to change the definition of hate speech from speech that is hateful to speech that she hates. But if you were a betting man, I for one hope she does, because dismantling speech leads to less intelligence in the world. And we all know intelligence is hateful towards dumb people. Nonetheless, for her unprecedented act of bravery in her office building while rioters were in the Capitol building, we believe that AOC believes she'll be awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor. One of the lessons we can all take away from AOC's embodied actions is it's bad to victimize other people, yet it's good to victimize yourself. In other "these are our leaders" news, some GOP members are calling for Nancy Pelosi to be fined for not obeying her own metal detector rule at the Capitol. This is after Pelosi, who has allegedly not died from old age yet, fined two GOP members $5,000 each for violating her rule. Clearly, these amateur GOP politicians don't know how dictatorships work. In other news, Andrew Cuomo, which is an invasive species of snake found in the New York area, has been caught in a potential federal crime. It was found that Cuomo hid nursing home data from federal investigators, covering up the actual death counts, after he ordered nursing home residents back into viral cesspools. Some believe Cuomo lied to investigators and the public about the death counts to make himself look better politically. There are currently no other theories on why he would have lied. This just in, Keep trusting your authoritarian leaders. It makes it so you don't have to think for yourself. In other news, Gavin Newsom's palms are getting sweatier as there's now been 1.4 million signatures gathered in the effort to recall him. Nobody likes Mitch McConnell, and here's Biden's press secretary wearing a hat with the hammer and sickle communist symbol on it. Facebook announced it'll be reducing the number of political posts you see on their platform, as Mark Zuckerberg wants less politics on Facebook. This is after the most recent election cycle where they already eliminated approximately half of all politics from their platform. In December, President Biden promised he will be reopening schools in his first 100 days in office. Seems kind of like an important thing to do in a society. And now he's announced he will be reopening schools just 1 day per week. So instead of them being open, they'll be closed 80% of the time. But this is better because 1 day a week gives kids 20% of a normal education while still giving them 80% of lockdown realities of despair. Like if a child's family can't afford food, because let's say there's been a year-long draconian lockdown order to keep small businesses closed and the parents haven't been able to work, now that child will still be able to go hungry at lunch 80% of the time. With Biden backtracking his original statement to reopen schools to just 1 day a week, mathematically speaking, that makes his original statement 20% honest. So at least he's improving there. Thank you for tuning in. There's currently ninjas attacking me, as you can see. I fear for my life and I need to go hide. Please feel sorry for me. We hope you enjoy getting a sense of empowerment while you disempower yourself through self-induced victimization. From all of us here in AOC's Panic Room, good night. Before you go, I want to thank the sponsor of this video, Doc Parsley's Sleep Remedy. I like good energy and feeling great, but for years I was doing it all wrong. I thought the more junk I ate near bedtime, the better. The more junk I watched on TV, the better. And the less sleep I got, the better. And it turns out that was the first time I've ever been wrong in my entire life. It turns out sleep is one of the most instrumental things you can do to have wonderful energy and feel great. So the reason why I love Doc Parsley's Sleep Remedy is because it empowers you to get the best sleep that you can possibly get so you can feel and function your best. Sleep Remedy is designed to naturally decrease your stress hormones while boosting relaxation chemistry so you can get a deeply restorative sleep. I make the delicious apple cinnamon flavored tea about 30 minutes before I go to bed so I can get the absolute most out of my sleep. Doc Parsley's Sleep Remedy is made with a blend of natural ingredients including vitamins, minerals, and amino acids, so it fits perfectly into a natural lifestyle. And if you're an unnatural person, it won't fit perfectly. It's formulated by Doc Parsley, a medical doctor and former Navy SEAL, which means he's tougher and smarter than me. Sleep Remedy is non-habit forming and there's no grogginess or hangover in the morning from using it. You only feel better. To start optimizing your sleep so you can be at your best, just go to docparsley.com/JP to get your Doc Parsley's Sleep Remedy.